Today I'm chatting with Malaika Lubega, owner of Huza Home Concepts, where she blends her love for interior decorating with her passion for home organization. Her work has been featured in Martha Stewart, Redfin, and Apartment Therapy. Welcome to the show, Malaika.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Happy to be here.
It's so great to meet you, somewhat in real life and see your presence on camera. For those of you listening on podcast,
Absolutely.
She has the most beautiful background. And we were just chatting before we jumped on. She does accent walls and painting, and like her office is just absolutely gorgeous. So I wish you guys could see this. But tell us about yourself, how you got into this field.
So I got into home organization, interior decorating. I know a lot of people ask, are you an interior designer, an interior decorator? There's a difference. I say interior decorator. But well, I used to be in healthcare prior to my full life entrepreneurship right now. I used to, my background in healthcare, I worked in postpartum, NICU, administration, all areas of healthcare before the pandemic hit and my business took off, which is a blessing in disguise. And I was able to really take this on and make it what it is today. So
it's so cool. Mm-hmm. It's so cool to see how many people have shifted during the pandemic, leaving careers, starting businesses, leaving old, lives and jobs behind. Like, I really just think that this period in time in history has really woken us all up and opened us up to like, hey, what really matters? What do I want to do?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those are fear. And then like anything, when you're first starting out, especially entrepreneurship is difficult. It's tough, right? And even as we go through, year after year, it's a learning curve. You make mistakes, you doubt yourself, and, but you keep going. There's a reason, like I always say, I have my whys like everybody else. What's your why? What, pushes you to do what you do every day? And so, it keeps me grounded. It motivates me, it inspires me, to continue on this journey, helping other families, helping people. And just, I do really enjoy organization and interior decorating. I used to, well, I still do. I decorate my home. I'm one of those people that's always switching things around, for the season. And we just came back from spring break visiting my in-laws. And I would say my mother-in-law, she's amazing at switching up her house, right? Like we're in spring right now and everything is spring, everything, she switches for Christmas, she switches for the holidays. So I love change. I'm not stuck on certain things. And so I love going through my home and kind of tweaking things around. And so, merging my love for interior decorating and home organization is really where my passion is.
Yeah, and it shows in your brand too, because you have this iconic, like hot pinkish fuchsia magenta color, and it's woven throughout your highlight buttons on Instagram, throughout your website, throughout, like I see that color and I'm like, oh, that's Malaika, like that's brand recognition. So how did that come about? Were you just like, what colors do I like? What should I do?
It's a funny story. And every now and then I'm telling you, when you're starting out a business, what goes into creating a brand? Like, I feel like I'm always learning, but initially when I started, I knew what name I wanted to use. So, and I'll give a little background. So the name of my company is Huza Home Concept. So Huza, in my native tongue, from Rwanda, I'm half Rwandese, half Ugandan. So in Rwanda, Huza means to merge together. Think of puzzle pieces coming together, putting something together. So when you think home organization, interior decor, putting those together, we have Huza, right? And so, all right, I was like, check, I got the name. And because concepts, what I'm trying to do here, I'm working in the homes, it's going above and beyond homes now. But when it came to the color, first of all, you're always trying to find, okay, what's out there? What's, I didn't know what color my brand was going to be, but I had this incredible perfume that I loved. It was a perfume and it was this magenta, fuchsia, like the color was just stunning. And I kind of did one of those, like you're looking like, ooh, what color is that? So I Googled magenta.
Like a double take, like, ooh,
Like a
that
double take, because I was like, I think I forget what colors I was trying to do before. I was like, oh, that's taken, but this one, and then the gold and and magenta together, I was like, that's it. From a perfume bottle, the top was gold.
I love it. And it's like, it's very luxe looking. And I think that also probably attracts your clients that want more than just a pretty organized space. They might want an accent wall painted. They might want their whole, living room reshuffled around and redesigned and getting furniture in there,
Absolutely. And I love color, it's kind of sprinkled all over my house. I do have clients who want to stay neutral, but I always ask, how about we add a little bit of pop of color here and there, because decorating or interior design is very specific to someone. So, but I merge my love for color in what I do, and I just like thinking about organization and home decorating. It's kind of fun when you walk into a pantry, and even though we have like all these clear containers or whatever, there's a pop of color here and there, so I always find it fun to kind of merge the two together.
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot lately, where even organizers now are learning how to do like the peel and stick wallpaper, and they're doing like, maybe just a pop of color in the pantry. It's behind closed doors. It's like this little fun moment, but it's not, all over the house for somebody that wants more neutral tone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fun. And I'm on kind of like a maximalist design kick. Right now. I'm like getting ready to wallpaper potentially my office, but now you've turned me on to accent walls, so I might be doing that. I don't know, but I just
freestyle it. And then because to me it's besides just being creative, it's when I do my accent walls, and I never ever kind of like plan it out or think about it like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Well, except for certain clients, but one of the reasons they hire me to do accent walls is because I do freestyle, right? And then I think, oh, okay, what could be, what could go in here? And in the moment, that's what I do. It's like my DIYs. I love DIY. That's another part of, my passion. I love DIYs. I love painting furniture. I love upcycling stuff. And so to me, it's just fun, creative ways to kind of tweak things around your home. And it's really budget friendly at the end of the day, without being committed to color in terms of paint or wallpaper or having to buy a brand new piece of furniture,
Right. And that's what we were chatting about before we hit record today, was like, it's just paint. You can always change it.
Yeah. When you get tired, you get bored, it's just paint.
So that being said, on the organization side of things, do you have any favorite areas of a home that are your absolute favorite to organize, or do you just kind of love it all?
I'm gonna say I do have some favorites. Pantries are definitely my favorites. Closets are my favorites. Under the bathroom sinks have become a favorite. Linen closet, so that's a lot. But as we go through all, as we continue to do these projects, I always find that every project is different. But like at one point I caught myself saying, "Ooh, I do enjoy organizing garages," and you don't hear that from a lot of people because of the amount of work that's required for a garage space, right? Or a basement or an attic or whatever. But, I feel like it depends on the project, but those are my favorites.
Yeah, I love a good under the bathroom sink as well. I love, like, this sounds weird, but my degree's in sociology, and I'm always just fascinated by like human behavior and like consumer buying patterns and like things like that. And I don't know why, but under the bathroom sink, I feel like always tells a story.
It does, especially for us women, right? Yes. I think so.
Yes, like all the perfumes, all the beauty product, are they a nail obsessed person, or a facial obsessed person, or are they a hair person? person? Are they, it's always,
they are collector of things. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like women, we're always changing our minds and we love stuff. You'll find, definitely a lot of hair products, a lot of makeup, and you can only use a little bit at a time. But why do we have so much, But you're right. It does tell a story.
It does. It's that back to that, sociological phenomenon of people and why they do what they do. I think we learn a lot about our clients just being in their stuff.
Absolutely. Yes, that's true.
So how did you get these really cool features through Martha Stewart and Redfin and Apartment Therapy? I know in the past I've used HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. It's through Cision PR. That's a great resource for those of you listening, where you get, it's not guaranteed that you get featured, but it's like you can pitch reporters. How did you get these? Do you have like a PR firm that you work with, or what did that look like?
Absolutely God sent. I'll put it that way. Every single one of them. Initially the first time Martha Stewart, the editor, reached out to me, I looked at it, I was like, is this spam? Because at the time I thought, and you and I will talk about this, in a little bit. I thought, oh my God, they only reach out to people who have a certain number of followers on social media, right? And so the first article came out. I think I have maybe 4 or 5 articles with Martha Stewart at the moment. I'm not sure, which again, it's an incredible blessing. Nope, I don't use anybody. They reach out to me. Same with Apartment Therapy. I think I might have 2 with Apartment Therapy and 1 with Redfin. So it's been an incredible blessing.
That is so amazing. And I love that you say it was God-given. It was, gifted. They
gifted.
Can somehow feel your energy, your passion, your excitement for what you do, whether they saw your website or your social media. How cool is that? And I mean, just for the record, for those of you listening, she has about 5,000 followers on Instagram. This isn't an account that has 30K followers, 1 million followers, 200,000 followers. Also, I can tell that you didn't buy followers, which I'm not a fan of.
No.
So let's talk about social media and the perfectionistic trap that I think so many of us get caught up in. I absolutely love that we connected over Instagram, just because it is such a it's tough when you're first starting out as an organizer. I have a lot of women that are in my programs that are their first year in business, which arguably is the hardest, because you're still trying to like gain your training wheels and figure out, what's going on. You're stumbling around.
Right.
And I think so many people get caught up in having to post on Instagram every single day, having to have the perfect feed with perfectly curated mix and match colors and this and that. Like, it is such a barrier, I feel like, to actually show up authentically online.
Absolutely. Yes. And today, when you and I were talking, from what you posted that time and I responded to, it's one of those things you're like, oh my God, right on time. And you'll hear me say a lot of things are blessings or God-given, or, sometimes just even for us to connect the way that we did, it was meant to be, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, oh my gosh, yes, this is right on time, because even at 5,000, I go through my struggles with social media and trying in this day, our lives today, everything is on social media. I always think of it as free advertisement, and it can really be very stressful. As someone, again, who's on social media and running a business, it can be overwhelming, stressful, imposter syndrome. Look, we'll talk about that. So you always feel like, is this enough? And then there's always, you see influencers or people in social, oh my gosh, you've got to post 3 times a day and do 20 reels here and do this, otherwise you're not going to grow. And I'll say, and I've gotten to a point where every now and then I have to shut out the noise, because it's paralyzing, right? It's paralyzing, because I'm like, I don't have time to do 3 reels a day, however many stories in a day. I do have a son, I do have a family, I do have life outside of what I do, or I'm actually at work, so that's incredibly, it's something today, it has its perks. Absolutely, it has its perks. I've gotten plenty of clients off of social media, but Yeah.
I loved your comment, and I'll read a snippet of it if it's okay with you.
Okay. Absolutely.
So you said oftentimes we get caught up because society has us convinced that we have to show up consistently because of the algorithm or because of this. Like you just mentioned, you know, these gurus that are like 23 years old that are like Gen Z trying to tell you need to do TikTok and you need to be on Facebook groups and you need to be on Instagram and Snapchat and over here on like Visco was a thing for a minute. Like
right.
it's always gonna be noise. And like you said, you've got to cut that noise. I know that you just took some time off. You took like a week and a half to spend time with your family, to celebrate the new season, to get back to what matters, right? And we all need that little reset button.
Absolutely. We all do. You know, I do. I love what I do. I love showing up on social media. And I'll say this, you know, for everyone to hear. I have I don't like to say that I'm shy. Every now and then you'll hear me say that. But I don't enjoy showing up on social media, like showing my face. And maybe that might be imposter syndrome. I don't know. You know, you if you follow me now, I'll do like behind the scenes, I'll do the stories, and you know, and I know people come on every day and they post and they show, and it's fantastic, you know. And I've heard people say, I don't understand why you feel a certain way about it. You're great at it, you know, for someone else watching me. But I'm at a point where I'll show up on social media when I'm supposed to, on my own time. I'll post what I post. I post about work. I'll post about my family. I'll post about random things on my travels to Target. I'll post about, you know, just real life things, you know, because I want to show up as authentically as I possibly can. I don't want to have this perfectly curated Instagram where it to me it's not real life, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, even at 5,000 followers, even that in itself is a blessing. I don't buy followers. I don't, you know, I show up when I show up. I'll share what I share. And I just say, you know, someone is always watching. I mean, look at all these publications. You just never know who you're inspiring. You just never know who's watching you. Even at the 5,000, I could be at Target and I always get, you know, like you'll see me posting about Target dollar spot, or I'll be outside doing whatever. And it's incredibly, I mean, it's incredible. People do like to see the real you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, you know, Target dollar spot is a thing. Like I've had someone ask me like, is that separate from, you know, Target? I said, it's inside Target when you, I mean, everybody, I think everybody goes to Target. How did you miss that first, you know, when you're going inside of Target? I'm like, it's incredible. Even like the amount of organizing products that they put in that little section. You just never know. Even people who reach out to you, you know, that, oh my gosh, I saw you on stories at Target. I saw you doing like, you know, real life things out there, you know, so I'm happy to be as authentic as I possibly can and just grow the way that I'm supposed to grow. And then, you know, of course, if I can inspire someone out there in what I do, that's, you know, that in itself is a blessing. And I've done my part.
Yes. And when you show up, when you're supposed to show up, like you said, you're supposed to show up, you feel it, you get that light bulb moment, you get that, excitement. Like I want you to be excited when you post. You got to have energy behind what you post. It's not just like, oh, here's this Canva graphic that looks kind of blah, and I'm just going to post it just to post it. Like nobody's going to react or respond to that or be excited about that. It goes back to what I like to say about mirroring, where if you're excited about something, you're pumped about something. I saw on your, I think it was your story or your feed the other day, you were at Walmart and you saw the new Home Edit products come in, and I was like, oh yay, they're here. Like, cause I was wondering about that. Like I don't have a container store where I live out in the middle of nowhere in farmland.
Exactly. And it's exciting. And because, you know, I knew that they had launched a product line in Walmart. I had never seen, because I don't usually shop at Walmart. Again, I'll go to Target, I'll go to the, you know, specific places. And where, you know, where we went for spring break, my mother-in-law, I always joke with her. I say, you must have shares at Walmart, you know, because she's always in there. but it's also the biggest store around them. You know, there's Walmarts everywhere. And as soon as I walked in, it was like, oh my gosh, really? I had a paparazzi moment. Like, I'm taking pictures, I'm doing videos, because not only was it was not only exciting to see the products in there, but the fact that they were accessible to everyone, and the prices, you know, because when we first heard of the Home Edit, whenever it was, they were mainly at like Container Store, right? Their stuff is at Container Store. And so you think, you know, oh, I only have to go to the Container Store. Just like as an organizer, I don't only shop at the Container Store. Love the Container Store. I always call it my playground, right? I say I'm going to my playground, because I mean, I could live there and play in there all day, but I love finding budget friendly organizing products for my clients anywhere. I've shopped Target, Container Store, now Walmart, you know, Amazon. We've ordered things online, you know, so it was exciting to see that now everyone can shop the Home Edit products, and then they're packaged in a way that it's not just one little piece. They come packaged like 5 pieces or however many pieces. They have the pantry set. They have, you know, pantry, or I forget the others, but you know, they're like, you can buy a few pieces at a great price. So that was exciting for me.
Yeah, and I think showing stuff like that, hey, I'm out at the store, guys, look what I found. Hey, I'm at Target. Hey, I'm helping my son with his, you know, blah 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 stuff today, or I'm working out with my husband today, or I'm doing, you know, like that is really what builds that know, like, trust factor, where you did mention that you have received clients from social media. Some people have in my network, some people haven't. Some people get, you know, clients all the time from Instagram. Some people have never gotten a client from Instagram. Right. It depends on your market. It depends on your clientele, your dream client avatar. It depends on who you're trying to attract, all of that. Absolutely. But if you are going to use social media, let it be fun, let it be aligned, let it be exciting for you. Absolutely. And show your life. I think nobody wants to see this like buttoned up, very corporate page. I'm gonna go follow my bank's Instagram if I want, you know, the buttoned up look.
Right. And the other thing that I say in showing up authentically, right? So yesterday, another organizer and I did this Instagram live on refrigerator organization. It was a very organic, just like you and I started. We started kind of, you know, in the DMs, and next thing we're on the, you know, exchanging text messages and talking. And it was kind of one of those, oh my God, we should really talk about this. And, you know, and it wasn't anything, you know, premeditated per se. It was just a really chill conversation. And I shared my space, you know, she shared her space, I shared my space, because sometimes I've come across content on social media and I look at it, I'm like, no, you know, you don't live like that. You know what I mean? Like again, that's my humble opinion. Like we've seen where it's perfectly curated. Everything looks when they say Pinterest ready, I mean, Pinterest worthy or Instagram worthy. And I'm like, do you really live like that? Even as an organizer, I always look at certain things because I always equate, you know, organization to functionality, right? Like, is that really functional for you? Do you really live like that? Is under your kitchen sink everything pure white? And these are accounts with like 1 million followers, 50,000 or however. And lately it looks like home organizing has become quite a trend, right? Where we're seeing a lot more influencers coming on and just sharing stuff they never used to share about. It's organizing. They used to, I don't know, about fashion or whatever. Now all of a sudden, and it clicked. I was like, wait a minute. But they're showing like under the sink. And I talked to the organizer that we did that Instagram live yesterday. I was like, okay, so first of all, people forget, and I talked about it in my Instagram stories before, people forget that they're the big name influencers. They receive products, right? They receive a lot of products. So I've seen people where, oh my God, I wish I could live like that. Goals, hashtag goals. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, really? You're going to go in whatever space you're, you know, under the sink or bathroom sink. And it was 10 beautifully organized deodorants. And, you know, like it was like a big number of what everything, like Lysol bottles. Let's say, for example, like it was, I saw someone 10 bottles of Lysol, 10 of this, 10 of that. And certain things were like one color only. I was like, you have kids and you've shown your family before. I know you don't live like that. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
Yes, I'm like, be careful what you consume on social media, for you to go, and don't let it make you feel like your life or the way that you live is not, perfect, or you have to go according to someone else's standards. These things or these products or whatever you're seeing, a lot of it is, they send these influencers products.
Yeah, they're all like paid partnerships or things like that. Yeah. And I think using discernment is huge, not just in business, but in life in general, of course. But using discernment and going, okay, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to see that. I'm going to look at that reel. Oh, that's nice. That's a beautiful pantry. Okay, great. And not like judging yourself for it or saying, well, I have to make every client's house look like that, or I have to,
Absolutely.
Keeping it real, keeping it authentic. I was just in my kitchen this morning feeding. So I have like 15 animals now. I have goats and pigs and chickens and dogs and cats and all kinds of things. And it like every morning is like feeding time for hours. I feel like so I'm feeding the dog, and I've been letting myself have some wind down moments at night where usually I don't have like a Netflix subscription, but I bought it for like 1 month and then I canceled it so that it's over. But I wanted to watch the Home Edit show, so that's why I bought it. But I was watching like Kardashian something, and I was looking at Kim Kardashian's kitchen, and I was just like, this looks like a museum. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's like bizarre.
Was it Kim or Khloe? One of them, even just on social media, I think it was last month, her pantry was trending. And so my girlfriends and I, of course, and this is another thing, when my girlfriends or friends or whoever, they see certain organizing, content or whatever, they'll send it to me, right? And then so I was cracking up. I said that her pantry must have an attendant, because I mean, it's incredibly, but the thing about, I think it's Khloe, she is actually organized, right? But she also has the resources to make it happen and have her home space look her home spaces look like what it looks like, besides being organized. And I tell, just like when I organize for my clients, everybody's budget is different. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to buying the products or what their spaces look like, is when I always say on social media to my clients, just because your space is small, let's say you have a small bathroom, a small kitchen, it does not mean that you can't be organized. Any space can be organized and decorated. It does not matter. So
it's like the idea of like accessible organizing, like organizing can be for everyone, for sure. But yeah, basically I was in this mood in the morning, and I was like feeding my dog, and I was like, I bet Kim Kardashian has like a dog attendant that like is only in charge of the dog and the dog's needs and like the feeding times and the vet meds and the vitamins. And I'm just like, this is too much. Sometimes I have my days where I'm like, it's too much. And that's the thing, is like, if you can be real about that, like go on stories and be like, what do you guys think of Kim Kardashian's kitchen? Or what do you think of Khloe Kardashian's pantry? And start that dialogue with your audience. Stuff like that can be fun.
Absolutely. Like really in showing up authentically. And that's where I show up authentically. I just don't like to show up. You know what I mean? When it hits me, I do. When the spirit moves me, I come on and I start and I'll start talking about whatever, like I have on my door, and I've shared this in my stories on my front door. I still have my Christmas wreath hanging on there, and it's never been changed because I have a bird's nest on it, and every now and then I'll go check on it. Like before, it was just these, I think they're blue jays, or my son who's 6 said, oh, those are blue jays. The eggs were blue. And I was kind of tempted. I was decorating for spring and kind of switching things around my home. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to put a new wreath on my door. And I felt so bad. I said, I feel like I'm destroying their home if I take this wreath down. And so when we came back from vacation, I checked, I went and checked the front door, and there's little baby birds in there. And I said, yeah. So, like I'll share something like that. Like, oh, look, you know, so it doesn't always have to be curated. It doesn't always have to be about, let's say, about the business. You know, it's just real life. You know, share what you do, how you live, your, you know, the business obviously behind the scenes, and that's what I do.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for being here today. I just feel like this is what everybody needs to hear, whether they're 2 years in business, 5 years in business, 6 months in business. Where can our audience find you, on social or wherever?
So they can find me on social media, on Instagram. I have a TikTok account now, which is a new thing. I'm not doing any dances or anything. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on Pinterest, and of course my website, you know, www.malaika.whosahomeconcepts, you know, you can find me on there. So
awesome. And I'll share all of that in the show notes below. Thank you again for being here. This has been an awesome conversation, and I'm so happy that we connected.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. And I look forward to any future collaborations, any, you know, hey, I'm available next time you want to talk about whatever.
Yes, we're gonna have to make this like an ongoing thing, an ongoing like real talk with Malaika and Melissa.
Yeah, we can always find something. There's so much to talk about, and it's just so organic and just so warm and inviting. And it's been, you know, when I first came on, I said, I'm nervous, never done this before, but it's just like, you know, just like, oh, let's do another one.
I love it.